Did you know that pinecones hold the secret to unlocking your mind's full potential? Hello everyone and welcome to our new channel. Now let's get started on our very first episode, which begins with the humble pinecone. Yes, those little spiky things that grow on trees. If you ever thought pinecones were simple, innocent little objects that fall to the ground during a family walk in a park, then this will open your mind. So why don't we explore the fascinating relationship between pinecones, the pineal gland, and dare I say it, the third eye. Okay, so how are pinecones linked to the pineal gland? Well, ultimately, it has a strong resemblance to the pinecone. And what's interesting is, given there's such a close resemblance, the pineal gland's name is actually derived from the pinecone. In fact, the word pineal comes from the Latin word pinea, which means pinecone. There are so many ancient cultures around the world that associate the pineal gland with the pinecone, and clearly the connection between the two goes far deeper than their physical appearance. But what is the pineal gland? The pineal gland is one of the most complex organs, to be fair, in which scientists still don't fully understand. However, at a high level, the pineal gland is a small gland situated in the central region of the brain. It's a vital link between the roots of the spinal cord and the medulla oblongata section of the brain, which controls critical bodily functions. It shares a common evolutionary ancestor with the retina cells of the eye. In fact, it's actually connected to the visual cortex of the human brain and contains photoreceptors known as melanopsin, which are activated by light signals transmitted from our eyes, and being able to access the light signals is fundamental in regulating the body's circadian rhythm, or to put simply, our internal clock even, which tells us when to sleep and when to wake up. By responding to changes in light, the pineal gland helps to keep our body's internal clock in sync with the external world. In addition, amongst many other functions, the pineal gland produces serotonin, which stimulates feelings of joy and balances mood. Well, that sounds quite important, right? But what's all the mysticism about then? Well, according to Plato, in every man there is an eye of the soul, which is far more precious than 10,000 bodily eyes. So the pineal gland contains calcite crystals, and these crystals have been found to be piezoelectric under certain conditions. Tests such as the second harmonic generation measurements showed that pineal tissues contain non-centrosomatic crystals, which effectively proves the presence of piezoelectricity. Piezo what? Okay, piezoelectricity is just a fancy term of where certain crystals can conduct electricity under certain conditions, such as being under pressure or being squeezed. A common lighter is a good example. Lighters have a quartz sparker within the lighter, with quartz being the crystal. And when the pressure is applied, i.e. when you flick the lighter wheel or button, it creates electricity, which results in the quartz to spark, which then ignites the flame when combined with gas. So when pressure is applied to piezoelectric crystals, such as the calcite crystals contained within your pineal gland, it can become electronically activated and generate electromagnetic fields, and allows them to vibrate at higher frequencies under the right conditions. So the pineal gland is also a neuroendocrine transducer. Sorry, a transducer? Okay, let's keep this simple. So under the right conditions, the pineal gland can act like a radio or a TV. Yes, that's what I said. We have an antenna that sits within us. I mean, it's a known fact that the human body produces electricity and we have magnetic fields all around us, and we are truly amazing. But to also have an antenna that can connect to higher frequencies or consciousness is simply mind-blowing. Maybe one day this will become a well-known fact. In addition to these fascinating insights, some researchers believe that when the pineal gland reaches the higher frequencies, it may be involved in the production and release of dimethyltryptamine, also known as DMT, or the spirit molecule. DMT is one of the main active compounds in ayahuasca, which is a psychoactive brew that has been used in religious rituals across South America for hundreds of years. There's loads on Google on this. More recently, DMT has become the focus of ongoing research on mood and post-traumatic stress disorder treatments. New evidence suggests that not only do humans' brains respond to DMT, but they may even produce it, which has a significant link to mystical experiences. But going back to the antenna bit, how do you switch it on? Well, by meditation. Many ancient cultures across the world refer to a spiritual energy or life force that lies dormant within all human beings and sits within the base of the spine. The base of the spine is called a sacrum or the sacral plexus, which both mean sacred, which is interesting in itself, right? I mean, why would it be called that? This dormant energy is known as Kundalini in Sanskrit. The Japanese call it Ki, the Chinese call it Chi, the Greeks refer to it as Pneuma. Many of the world's indigenous tribes across the globe are so familiar with this spiritual energy, it's an everyday normality, rather than something mystical. It's part of their day-to-day lives. Kundalini energy, or Ki or Chi, is described like a snake or serpent that lies dormant within the base of the spine. When awoken, it uncoils, whilst travelling its way up your spine to the top of your head. As mentioned, the Kundalini can be awakened by meditation, prayer, yoga and breathing exercises such as pranayama, amongst many other things. The more often you meditate and practice, the more the Kundalini will rise to the pineal gland, or the third eye. It is this energy that through meditation, prayer or pranayama travels up your spine to your brain. This is the pressure which is applied to your piezoelectric pineal gland, which then ignites the flame of consciousness. The antenna is switched on, which allows individuals to access higher vibrational frequencies and the various energies that surround them. It will provide greater universal insight, understanding and spiritual awareness, i.e. higher consciousness. So is this why the sadhus in India can sit in meditation all day up in the mountains in the Himalayas? Just to add, research suggests that in addition to enhancing spiritual awareness and human consciousness, given the universal energy flowing through your body, activating your Kundalini results in fewer physical ailments, better sleep, improved digestion and increased energy levels, including significantly improved mental and emotional well-being. So the next time you see a pine cone, remember it's not a simple cone. Pine cones have played a significant role throughout ancient history. In addition, by caring for your pineal gland through practices such as yoga, meditation and pranayama, you are going to significantly improve your spiritual self and well-being. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have found it interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe. It would be brilliant to hear your views and your comments on this topic. We do have more content coming your way.